This video is brought to you by Harold Sack, who gave me a massive 1 year's worth of subscriptions on Patreon. Couple of Rakdos commanders here, Mahadi versus Prosper. And that, I dare say, isn't going to be quick enough, so we'll mulligan. Into a hand where we can get some card draw at least, so yes, we'll keep that. Get rid of the, get rid of the Darksteel plate, I think. A turn 1 Sol Ring for Prosper. Okay, draw into a Vamp Shooter. Let's see what we draw into with the Signing Blood here. We can go for, if we get into a land here, right, we get into 2 lands, so there's nothing to stop us going Sol Ring, something like that. Maybe it's just Necropotence. So Prosper coming out on turn 2, exiling a land off the top. Go for the Vamp Shooter, we'll put Necropotence on top. And then obviously draw into that. We'll go Command Tower, can get down the Nether Traitor. That does have Haste and Shadow, so we can't block with it. Our opponent can't block it, so we might as well chip away at them. Playing a land from exile will make them a treasure token, so they go even further ahead on mana. Going through to the end step, they exile off the top a Phyrexian Furnace, so exile the bottom card of a player's graveyard, and then exile a card from a graveyard to draw a card for 1 and a sacrifice. We will draw here because Necropotence isn't down yet. Urborg is not going to help our opponent particularly, but we'll just go for a swamp. Necropotence lands, not anything too much that a Rakdos deck is going to do about the Necropotence. We'll start sinking some life into there. Sinking 5 life into that, so we will have to exile a card at the end of the turn at the cleanup step. Okay, I was thinking that we were going to get into a land in all that. I don't think we necessarily need the Damnation, so I could probably just get rid of that here. It is an Ad Nauseam at the end of the turn from Prosper. And annoyingly, we see a Mind Twist there, so it might have to kiss goodbye to our hand. Especially when they keep getting into fast mana. They got a Tutor, some Ramp, Sensei's Top, some lands, Necropotence. So they go straight in for the Mana Crypt. The Arcane Signet comes down as well. Then playing Phyrexian Furnace from exile will make a treasure. The Mox Diamond we've already seen as well. And they discard to that a Scalding Tarn. And as we thought they would, they go for Mind Twist where X is 7. So all of those things get exiled to the Necropotence. And they must have had some mana left open because Sensei's Divining Top entering play as well. Exiling the bottom card of a target player's graveyard. So getting rid of Arid Mesa for us. We'll put 7 life into the Necropotence, we don't have any choice here. And then after that, our opponent hits us with the Prosper. They get another land out of exile with the Prosper Tomebound at the end of the turn. So we're not going to draw, thanks to Necropotence. We'll just go straight through to attacks and see what we draw into. Probably already lost this one. Okay, Cabal Coffers with an Urborg in play, which our opponent does have, might be useful to us. Playing a land from exile, they get another treasure token. Of course they have a Demonic Tutor. We know that they have Imperial Seal in their hand as well. So, going straight in for Bolas's Citadel, we'll see how much more card advantage they get here. Opposition Agent is going to stop us from searching. And then Imperial Seal. And it's Aetherflux Reservoir straight off the top. So, yeah, they played that with the Bolas's Citadel, I imagine. So it's likely that they just win here. Oh, of course, they've got Sensei's Top. So all they do is tap down the Sensei's Top, put it on top of their library, draw a card, and then play this off the top for 1 life. But they'll gain multiple amounts of life every time they do that. All they had to do was go infinite there, now going for the Thoughtseize. Alright, so our opponent wins there. We won't make them jump through all the hoops and cast other cards and things. It's a good game to my opponent. We'll try another one. Mahadi versus Kinnan, and yeah, we could make use of some fast mana maybe. Just wondering what to tutor for on turn 1. Maybe go for that Necropotence again. I think that would have been a good tutor for us last game if it wasn't for the fact that our opponent went off really quickly with fast mana. A turn 1 Ponder for the Kinnan. We draw into Pitiless Plunderer, so getting some decent combo pieces here. Have a Sack Outlet in Woe Strider. We'll try and surprise our opponent with a Vamp Shooter. Yeah, I don't think they're going to be countering a Vamp Shooter. They'll be going for Kinnan next turn, I dare say. Or some Mana Dorks, Mana Rocks, things like that. It is a Mystic Remora, so we'll go for the Vamp Shooter now, so that we're not going to give them card draw. We will give them card draw next turn on the Talisman though. So down comes the Mystic Remora. We will draw into the Necropotence here. And like I said, going to give them the card draw with the Mystic Remora. And it is Talisman of Indulgence for us. They pay blue mana into the enchantment and managed to get Kinnan down this turn. No mana dorks for them yet though. Alright, play a land for the turn. We draw into Jadar. Which could be useful if we get down Dictate of Erebos next turn. I think it's better if we just try and get into some ramp and fast mana and try and keep up with our opponent here. Yeah, that's a tricky one. If we draw into a land next turn and our opponent doesn't get down any more creatures, we can get rid of the Kinnan with Jadar. Yeah, there's really no guarantee, so we're just going to have to go for the Necropotence, I think. Once again, they get card draw from us. Sinking 10 life into the Necropotence here and trying to craft a really useful hand for ourselves. Alright, so managed to get into some fast mana. A Basilisk Collar I don't think is going to be too much use to us. Zulaport Cutthroat to help us go infinite. Could just play out the Demon's Disciple next turn, I suppose, but yeah, it's probably just easier to go Bedevil straight onto their commander. Look at all these cards we had to get through in order to get into a land next turn, so we'll get rid of the tap land, get rid of the Disciple, the Collar. Reckless Fireweaver is going to be too slow. And unfortunately, don't think we're going to be going infinite with the Zulaport Cutthroat anytime soon, so yeah, it'll just have to be Zulaport Cutthroat, I think. Yeah, they were going to get down a creature anyway in Llanowar Elves. So then playing the tap land, Simic Growth Chamber, they've let the Mystic Remora go down by the way, holding up 2 mana, could be counter magic, and hitting us for 2 commander with the Kinnan. So we'll drop the High Market, go for the Sol Ring. They are holding up priority, so I'm going to assume they've got counter magic. We'll play Jadar Ghoulcaller of Nephalia. And then, seeing as how we had to get rid of, what is it called, the Reckless Fireweaver, that could have gone well with Pitiless Plunderer, but we want to try and get counter magic out of their hand here, so they should probably be countering this if they've got counter magic available. So I'll try and bait them, and they allow that into play. So we'll sink 4 more life into Necropotence, and hopefully we'll be able to get down the Dictate of Erebos next turn. Noteworthy that they are likely to be able to activate the Kinnan next turn. Jadar is going to make us a zombie token. Alright, getting to even more fast mana is going to be really useful to us against Kinnan. Get a land to play as well. Felwar Stone will tap for 2 mana, as does the Llanowar Elves. Momia Vig, Simic Visionary. So just hard casting that, not bothering with the Kinnan yet, so yeah, I really do think that they've got protection for their commander. So throw down the Dragon Skull Summit and the Mana Crypt. It's noteworthy that they are pausing on the Mana Crypt. Now we could go for... Now what to do here? It's probably a good idea to get out the Woe Strider, and then we can get out Dictate of Erebos as well. Or would we rather they just counter the Bedevil? Yeah, let's test them here. Go for Bedevil onto Kinnan. It's the type of thing where I'd rather do that on their upkeep so that they can counter on their turn. Alright, that lands though. So let's assume they don't have counter magic then. Yeah, we'll try and land the Dictate of Erebos here. Obviously, again, could do this on my opponent's turn, but if we swing in with the Decayed Zombie, alright, they do have something after all, so realised that we were baiting them and held on to that. We've still got the Grave Pact, thankfully. So all that means is that we swing in with a Decayed Zombie. It will die even if they don't block with the Momia Vig here. So sacrifice that at the end of combat step. That triggers the Pitiless Plunderer and will get us a treasure token. We'll sink 4 life into Necropotence again. And once again Jadar will replace the zombie token that came out. We've got Chainer available to us now, which I don't think is useful yet, but it might be later on. Our opponent maybe wanted Kinnan to die so that they could trigger the Momia Vig here, so they will get a creature into hand. I think they did the triggers the wrong way around there, revealing a Reflecting Pool to us. It's a Seaborn Muse that they search up, followed by a Jaraga Tree Speaker, and then Gaia Engineer as well, so maybe it's just Swan Song they've got, which can counter a Grave Pact. Alright, and I think they got the Seaborn Muse into their hand that time. They've revealed it a few more times. Getting bolted by the Mana Crypt, going down to 11 unfortunately. Yeah, I've got plenty of black in hand, so play the Swamp. So now I'm tempted to go for the Blasphemous Act, in all honesty. Yeah, I think that's maybe the thing to do here. So swinging with everything. Decayed goes onto the zombie, and they do decide on making some blocks here. So we get through to them for 2. Make a treasure token to the Jadar dying, another treasure token to the zombie dying. It will actually cost us 2 more mana to go for Blasphemous Act here, so I'm not entirely sure that was worth it in hindsight. Either way, we'll try the Blasphemous Act. And that lands, so I think it's a good idea to get out the Mahadi now. And then maybe Chainer as well, we can discard that Night's Whisper. Having to take life to a pain land, unfortunately. But down comes Chainer, Nightmare Adept. Discard the Night's Whisper. That does get exiled, but we can cast something from our graveyard here. It can be the Jadar. So out comes that. And it does gain haste until the end of the turn. Not particularly bothered about that though. Jadar makes us a zombie token. The Mahadi will make us a bunch of treasures. We get a total of 9 treasures by the end of the turn. Oh, and actually, oh damn, went through to the end step. Totally forgot about the Necropotence. That's annoying. Our opponent's probably got Cyclonic Rift here anyway. No, it is Zendikar Resurgent. Not likely to do anything about that for the rest of the game. Yeah, so forgetting that Necropotence may well cost us the game here. At least we win the flip to the Mana Crypt this time. Play out a Mountain. We can discard Woe Strider, I think. And get out the Pitiless Plunderer, I think is more important. Yeah, probably should have discarded the Mountain actually in hindsight. But Pitiless Plunderer gets haste. We'll try and land a Grave Pact. And there we are empty-handed, so yeah, we can sacrifice the zombie to the high market in response to Decayed. So that means that we can refill our hand here if we want to, because we won't die to the Mana Crypt. So 7 goes into the Necropotence. We will swing in with everything. And then in response to Decayed, we'll sacrifice the zombie to high market to gain a life. And only 1 creature died there. Wow, really? And they scoop. That is really weird. Please show us what we were drawing into. Alright, Revel in Riches. If our opponent couldn't beat us next turn, we may have been able to last long enough for a Revel in Riches, because we could have Chaos Warped the Mana Drain there, or the Mana Crypt even. Yeah, so would have used the 3 mana that we have open here for getting rid of the Mana Crypt, and may well have gotten something decent off that, and then we're not having to worry about a Lightning Bolt every turn. Then next turn likely just cast the Revel in Riches, may even go for the board wipe, but yeah, they've got double mana. They're going to draw a card from the Kinnan being cast. For all they know, they can last another turn and activate Kinnan a bunch of times. They've got the Seedborn Muse, unless they messed up with that. So, yeah, not sure what the scoop was about there. That was actually looking pretty dicey for us, but I'll take the victory if they don't think they can get it. I'm tribalkai. Thank you for watching.